What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. This evening, what I'm going to be doing is actually giving you a little bit of an insight into me and my journey and how I've got exactly where I've got today with my physique, my life, my business. I'm getting a lot of questions on social media about obviously how I'm now in the position I am with my brand Flip Physiques. And how I've got it here, because the problem is with social media, a lot of people just see the end result. You know, this is my chapter 50, and then there's going to be people on their chapter 1 comparing. But what you don't understand is I've been on a chapter 1 and now I'm at chapter 50. I want to get to chapter 150. I don't compare to others who are miles ahead. You've just got to kind of look at where you are now and what your next steps are. But effectively, for any of you who don't know me or who can't tell by my accent, I'm actually from Huddersfield. So I was born on the 14th of May, 2000, birthday tomorrow, at Huddersfield Royal Infirmary. I am 23 tomorrow. And what I've got here is a little timeline of everything I'm going to run through, where I've been in life, developing as a person, from a physical and a mindset perspective, and obviously the journey I've taken. So like, effectively, I was born in Huddersfield, lived in Huddersfield all my life until I moved to Dubai, which I'll touch on later. So I lived roughly 20 minutes from Huddersfield town centre in a small village my whole life. So I went to primary school there, went to secondary school there. Really nice place in the middle of nowhere, nothing like here. Absolutely loved it. Just the weather was an issue. Primary school. You know, people look at me now and think that because I'm 6'5" and I've now got muscle tissue, they think you've always just been like that. I would say the reason I am now like this is because I was actually completely the opposite. So back in primary school, I was just a little innocent kid. You know, I weren't tall. I was just probably normal height. And I was just the most innocent, shy, quiet little kid you've ever met. Went into secondary school, and by this age I was very sporty. I was in all sports, but I weren't necessarily like an elite performer at anything. I was just pretty average really across the board, not like a huge standout. The one thing I probably did excel a little bit at while I was younger was tennis, probably just as I started getting taller and I had those longer levers. So I was pretty good at tennis, but again, not on like a world-class level. Into secondary school, that is when I really shot up. So I probably got to about 6'4" by about year 9. So as you can imagine, I was as lanky as a lamppost, hence why I was on a mission to get some muscle tissue on. So I absolutely hated that because, you know, I weren't resistance training. I was doing sport, and then all of a sudden I had huge, gangly, skinny legs, but it weren't like I was the lowest body fat either. And I just got to a point where I was actually really uncomfortable with my body. I just couldn't fill it up fast enough. And if I was trying to fill it up, I was just feeling fat and bloated and had a huge belly, but had the longest, gangly legs ever. So it weren't ideal. Education-wise, I got a little bit stubborn, I'd say. I was innocent in primary school, in mid-school, secondary school, whatever you want to call it. I started to develop as a person, definitely. I definitely got a little bit more stubborn, probably from year 9 onwards. I started getting to the point where I was like, I'm not really interested in education. I always knew from a very young age that nothing against education, but more against, for me, I just weren't a fan of the school system. You know, I'm a big believer in you've always got to learn. That's why I'm here today. But just I haven't really got here from the school system, if I'm completely honest and transparent with you. So I was a little bit resistant to it. The reason behind that probably were my dad had built a very successful business in engineering, and he hadn't had the best school career time ever either. So I knew that. And I knew that from a young age, and probably in the back of my mind, I was thinking, well, my dad's doing all right. He didn't go to school. So I'd built up like a subconscious resistance for definite. And I was naturally quite a clever kid. So I could just turn up, never revise, never do anything, probably distract too many people, answer back probably a little bit too much because I was, you know, felt like I was just doing what I wanted to do. And I'm still at it today. I only do what I want to do. I'm very select with, someone says, do you want to do this? I don't want to do it. No. Do you want to do this English writing essay? No. I became a little bit of a dickhead, to be fair. But in a way which has probably allowed me to excel now. I think I was like all A's and B's with like no revision or anything. So it weren't like I had to graft it through school. And I knew that wasn't going to get me the life anyway. I was looking around and, you know, there was quite a few successful families and people around. And obviously you've got social media and you can start to see where you may want to go in life. And I knew personally, for me, I mean, for some people, it's the best thing you can do if you want to be, you know, a surgeon, a doctor, a vet. Like, university is like a must for that. But for me, that was never my goal. So education kind of just got put to one side in my mind. I was getting very into golf in the back end of my high school as well. So I started off just doing every sport like every kid would, and probably from about 14, started playing golf. And I got to a very, very, very good level very quick, where I was playing at like a national level pretty soon, traveling overseas whilst in high school, playing in Europe on junior European tours and stuff like that, which was like a big jump for me. So I kind of like stuck to that. I was like, this is my mission at this point. Definitely wanted to go down that route whilst I was a little bit younger, more naive. Transferred that into college. So then I went and did exercise science at college, which basically the reason I chose that was because I was like, right, what's going to actually allow me to have the most time to play golf and try and excel in what I want to excel in. Obviously I was traveling a lot overseas to Spain and stuff with it. And they were very, they actually sponsored me. They paid me to go away at times. So I was in a really good position where I could like get another level of education, which I weren't fussed about, but allowed me to kind of go through and get more life experience and go down the golf route. I then lived in Marbella for, I think, roughly half a year to a year. And I was then in a position where I was like, right, college is done, lived here. Now it's like, Tom, you make this a career or you go down a different route. And whilst I was out there, I was very disciplined, doing very well. And then the next big step, really, the way like people really progress through the golf route would be to go to an American university. And I was very resistant to doing another 4 years of education. But this is where I kind of fell into the fitness route. So whilst I was out training in Spain, we were doing gym every day. That's become a big part of obviously the sport these days. Obviously it's all driven around power and distance these days rather than like 20, 30 years ago. And I actually found that I was actually not that interested in the golf anymore. I was more interested in how strong I could get, how much muscle I could gain. It's probably about 18, 19 at this point. And I was getting a lot more of a dopamine hit from training than I were from the golf. And there was a few other things within the golf, like the cliques and the community, which I weren't the biggest fan of, in all honesty. And whilst I was out in Spain, then in my free time, I was actually finding that I was just consuming loads of content on fitness and being inspired to have, you know, a better physique and a better lifestyle. And I realized that even, yes, with the golf route, it would have been good. I'd have had to have 4 more years in education. Then when you are doing it, you're very tied. You are very tied to like being in set places all the time. And I knew for me, it was all about freedom. So I decided that one day, I knew I had in the back of my mind that I would actually be, even though at this point, at 18, 19, I had no physique, I had no experience in coaching, I knew I'd be a coach and I knew I'd have a great physique. I didn't know how, but I knew I was going to be on a mission. So I came home and I actually started working then part-time for my dad's business, which was engineering, gained a lot of life experience, I matured a lot. Obviously going working for a company, always around 40, 50 year old people. That was very helpful for me because whilst I was doing this, I was building my physique, I was learning, I was investing a lot of money I was earning from my job back into how I could be a coach, how I could build my own physique, investing in a coach for myself. And this then meant that when I then decided to take the leap to become a coach, which was in November 2020, so it had the first lockdown, and then it was actually in one of the other lockdowns, I think the second one, I decided, probably a little bit naive, but I knew like if I threw myself in at the deep end that I'd smash it. So I quit my job, said to my dad, look, I'm leaving, I'm going to become a PT. I've got a vision. I think I'm going to be an online coach down the line. I'm going to do YouTube. I'm going to do all this. I had a perfect clear vision, which is exactly where I am today. That didn't go down that well at the time because obviously I have a vision. How can I put that vision in someone else's head? And they were like, Tom, it's lockdown. You know, you just left a really good, secure job. This could have, you know, potentially been yours in the future. And I let it go just based on a vision. And I always say like the most powerful thing is to have a strong vision, because if you've got a vision, that means you've got a destination you can get to. There's nothing stopping you if you put the work in and that vision means enough. So at that point then, that was November. I basically had 2 months where I had no work and I was just studying. And I actually went to a local gym called Aura Gyms, which is just outside Huddersfield, a really nice luxury private gym. And I basically went and I tried, I don't know how, to be fair, at the time I got it. I got myself a job, freelance PT. So again, probably the tougher route to start with. Obviously having no salary and having to start with no clients and build my way up. But I did feel a little bit more confident. I'd already invested in my physique. Felt like I had a little bit of authority. I got life experience. I'd spoken to a lot of people within my previous job. And that's one thing I'd say to any of you guys who are wanting to become a PT, especially at a young age. Really work on your communication skills, really work on your presence, which is going to come from your physique, which is going to come from your mannerisms, your posture, how you present yourself, how you speak to people. This is all key. And my previous job working for my dad really allowed me to get these skills. So then when I went into PT and I was working with 20, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-olds, I had the skills to communicate and not look like a child, which is really, really important. But anyway, I started working at Aura Gyms from January the 4th, I believe, 2021. And I think on the 5th, I walked into the gym on my second day, a little bit nervous, and I look up and on the news we are going into another lockdown. So I was like, brilliant. I've just quit my job, had 2 months with no pay. I'd actually just signed on to a guy that I work closely with now, a mentor of mine, called Mark Coles. And I just signed on to a course of his to help me from the very start. I'm an all or nothing person. I knew I had a vision which was very, very strong. And I wanted to do a lot in a very dense, compact period of time. So I was like, right, I'm not messing around. I'm doing everything perfect from the start. So I went and met Mark, was mentored by Mark, and I'd signed up for £1,000 a month to get me where I wanted with my PT business, which was step one. But the gyms are closed and I had to pay this. And I also had a little bit of a buffer to last me from November to January, which I'd accounted for, which was now running out. So I basically had to walk out the gym was shut till April, and I was like, right, I've got expenses. I've got a car to run. I've got food to pay for. I've got normal things I want to do in life, and I've got a course for £1,000. So I was like, right, I need to earn some money. I need at least $2.5 grand a month coming in, and it's locked down. And I'm a brand new PT. So I went into hustle mode at that point. Like I went into a gear. I think when your back's up against the wall, the best comes out. And I always like to have that feeling, to be fair. So I went outside, took a barbell from the gym, took 2 dumbbells and a little make-do bench I'd made outside at my house, just in a field. And I was on Instagram with about 1,000 followers. Just random followers. It weren't a very engaged audience. They didn't know I was really smashing gym. They knew me more from golf, to be fair, but came on. I was like, look guys, I've invested heavily into my education. and I'm wanting to smash the PT business. And if anyone needs help and wants me to help them get in shape, I had a bit of a physique at this point from the time I'd been training and working with a coach. I was like, look guys, it's lockdown. It's a bit draining being at home. Let's train. And do you know what? Within my first week, I'd earned my month's pay working for my dad. So I think that might have been around £1,500, and I earned that in my first week. And don't get me wrong, that was paying for like the month, but in my bank, I'd pulled in £1,500 easily within the first week. And I was like, holy shit, this is it. This is the route I want to go. Like, I'm in lockdown, I don't have a gym, and I've somehow managed to graft my way to already being at a position where I'm safe. And that just shows that, you know, if you've got that entrepreneurship in you and you've got that graft in you, just go for it. Throughout then those months, it was snowy, I was shoveling snow, gritting, out from 5 a.m. in mornings till 10 p.m. at night, absolutely grafting. To be fair, earning more money than I'd ever earned. April comes, I go to the gym with a lot more confidence. I'd been PTing 30 plus sessions minimum every single week outside every week up until April, which was unbelievable to say. The gyms had been shut, most PTs stopped work altogether. And I'd just been grafting, managed to pay all my bills, absolutely fine. Went into the gym, and within a month, I was full in the gym. So just speaking to as many people as I could, helping as many people as I could, just doing what I knew I could do best. I'd learned a lot from the mentorship as well, and I really went in and excelled. And within a month, I'd gone from having an old Clio and struggling, having no money in my bank. I had about £20 in my bank account, thinking, oh, I've just messed this all up here. I don't know what I'm gonna do. All of a sudden, I'm like, right, it's May, I'm full. I'm gonna go buy a car. So I went and brought a brand new BMW 430i M Sport, all blacked out, new calipers. It was unreal. It was my dream. And within, you know, that just shows that within 4 months of being in the industry, I'd grafted on another level. And it just shows that doing 7 days a week sometimes in an uncomfortable position where you're back against the wall, everything can change. So if you've got that graft, you know, you need to put it to work, put yourself in uncomfortable positions. So I then had an entire year of earning quite a lot of money, which was all new to me. It makes you get a lot more mature very fast, going from earning just a normal salary for your age to earning potentially more than what doctors and stuff are earning just from PTing. But I knew where I wanted to be. That wasn't it. My vision was 1,000 times bigger than PTing. So I always said to myself, and it's still the same for me right now, everything that you earn goes back into the business to accelerate you. How do you do that? You've got to get better with your skills, with your knowledge, with your service, with your delivery, with your systems, with your results, with your own physique. And that is everything I did then and everything I still do now. Within that year, I'd invested £60,000 of my income back into the business, which allowed me to take my knowledge to probably 10 years ahead of where I should have been if I'd have just taken the normal, go get a job in a gym, do some PT, chill. And many don't even get to the point of where I am, all right? But that just comes from having a massive desire and also being willing to invest in my physique, in my education, in my business knowledge. And it really did serve me well. So from that summer, I was like, right, I'm getting the education, I'm getting the knowledge, I'm working with the best mentors in the world to help me build a physique business, as well as having the skills to deliver the results, as well as building my own physique to be an authoritative figure to show, look guys, this is what we do here. So over that year, I then started focusing a lot more on my socials. I was like, look, if I want to be an online coach and have a worldwide influence, coaching people that are results focused, so my ideal sort of audience, I need to be building up this audience. You know, people say I want to be an online coach. I want to have 500 clients in my business, 100 clients within my business, 50 clients in my business. That's not going to happen if you've got nobody watching you, right? You've got to have an engaged audience that can take value from you. How do you give value? You've got to be educated. How do you have trust? You've got to be getting results, okay? And that's only going to come from investing in yourself early doors. And that is my biggest piece of advice. If you're a coach, you invest in your physique massively. Work with a coach, learn from a coach. Regarding your business, how to make the best business. We're not talking here from a financial standpoint. I'm talking from how you run this business to give your clients the best service possible. Because if you give them the best service, they'll get better results. They'll stay in the business for longer because they love it. And you've effectively got a product which is irreplaceable. And I always say, if anyone took away what I have right now, all of it, in 2 months' time, I'd be back and probably even better. And that's because once you've got the skills, you've acquired the skills, no matter if anyone wiped your bank account, wiped your Insta page, you'll be back, because once it's all in here, you've got it. So that's the most important thing. And obviously, I think I might have gone from like 2,000 followers to probably about 35,000 within a 6-month period, which is quick. It's not the quickest, but it was definitely a very good moment for the business when I was given a lot of value. But by April 2022, I couldn't keep up with the demand of PT. I could have scaled the PT business and just kept bringing in PTs to work for me. That wasn't my vision. My vision was to go all online, which meant that I had to drop PT, which was a big financial hit. But I already had quite a lot of online clients because of the demand coming from online. So I basically said, right, drop a huge amount of money from PT, then that gives me a lot more time to now invest into my online to give these clients better results. It's also more my target audience. I really like working with these people who are results focused, for physique, for mindset, and we can just give them absolutely everything. And all my time's in that. And if all your time's there, it's going to grow. If you've got two businesses, effectively a PT and an online, both got 50-50, they're going to grow at half the speed each. If you give one of them everything, even if you take a financial hit, it's going to boom. And what did it do? Put my back up against the wall. Tom, you need to graft. And it made me graft. It made me get the best results. It made me give the best service. Turning up every single day on social media. Anyone that watches my social media, I'm posting on 4 or 5 platforms a day, 2 posts a day. And, that's what people don't see. They see where you are now, and they don't see the investments you've made in yourself personally from a development standpoint, from a skill standpoint, from a business standpoint, the consistency. A business for fitness is no different to your physique. And these habits that I have within my business have 100% just come from building them within my physique. It's discipline, delayed gratification, and just sticking to the process. So full-time online from April 2022. Now we are in May 2023. So what I've done over this last year is invest at least the same amount again back into more skills, back into my physique, and building myself up as an authoritative figure in terms of, do I have a physique to walk the walk? Yes. Do I have the results to walk the walk? Yes. And a huge thing we've done this year isn't just push like mad on everything. We've really honed in on, we know we're going to scale this business, and we are. We're looking for a couple of coaches now to start working for the brand. But the biggest thing has been about being efficient. So getting the systems in place to mean that not only do we have a 5-star service, we've taken it up to a 7-star service. It's irreplaceable. And then being very, very, very clear on our brand values, which are arguably the most important thing. So who do we work with? Why do we want to work with them? What are the guarantees that they are going to get? Just so we're not speaking at everyone, we are speaking to an exact group of people that we know we will change their life if they work with us. And our brand values effectively are, what are you going to get within this process? What are the guarantees? We're going to clear up your vision. So you're here. This is your lifestyle. This is where you want to go. Take away all self-belief. Where do you want to be? If you press a button, you wake up tomorrow in the best place physically and mentally. Where do you wake up? and we're going to bridge you that gap. And the only way you can have trust in a vision is if you've got the clarity in how you're going to get there. So we really delve into your values, why you want certain things, and how we can make that vision become a reality. We take your physique to the next level. So left and right image, absolutely unbelievable level of results, which as a byproduct, as well as obviously all of the fundamentals that are required with building a physique, such as discipline, structure in your life, whole foods, focus, this is going to help take your mindset to the next level. You're also going to be in an unbelievable network, community of lads on exactly the same mission as you, which is to become the very, very best that they can be, which is so rare these days. There's not many times you can go out to your local town, your local village, wherever you're from, and find a group of lads where they're all on the same mission. They all believe in your values. They all want to focus on self-development. It's not easy to come across these days. So what we've done is, yes, we work with you on a one-to-one level, at an elite level, working on your physique and your mindset, but we've also built a network and community where you're surrounded by others who are doing very similar things on a very similar mission, because you are the byproduct of the 5 people that you have the most influence by and you spend the most time with. So if a coach is one of them, you're going to excel. If you've got a network of others who are all flying, you're going to excel. So that's why we've built that. And a lifestyle, you know, I'm not here coaching bodybuilders, okay? The principles of bodybuilding all apply. We need structure. We need all the science from bodybuilding to get here. However, you need a lifestyle. If you don't have a lifestyle, you can't expect to have the results with your physique or your mindset. So we build you that around your life, where you are, what works, what you like, what you don't like. And that way, by focusing on the inputs, you get the output. So that's our values, and we've become so clear on this. So now when it comes to the position where we're bringing in coaches and we're bringing people in, we can be very specific with, you know what, let's jump on a call. Let's see if we're a good fit. Are you going to match these values? Because we are a very, very results-driven service. If we don't think that you're going to get us the level of results we want, we simply don't even start the process, because we want results. We don't want a bad reputation. We don't want anyone to give us a bad reputation. So we will do everything we can and get you exactly where you need to be, but we need people who are driven from the very start. You don't need to have the knowledge. You don't need to have the total mindset, but you've got to have the drive in the first place to actually commit to the process. Anyway, so March 2023, move to Dubai. Big move for me. I'd traveled a lot over the year I was working online. Obviously, when you work online, you've got the freedom to be wherever you want. Most of the time, I was graph mode. I was in my bedroom, at home, head into the computer, and then I trained out of probably one of the Ultraflex gyms or S20 in Sheffield. Again, just trying to do everything I could to take my physique to that next level. Traveled to Spain, Mallorca, Bali. That was a really good trip, going back there soon. But I knew that those places weren't somewhere that I could live and run a business. I always knew that Dubai was going to be that place for me. So I was in a position where I thought, you know what, in March, there's never a perfect time. So I was like, you know what, this is going to be the time where I'm just going to jump. We're going to get to Dubai, and I've come here, and the ability to focus, be driven, network, take the business to the next level, scale the business is on a whole new dimension. Since then, now we are just going absolutely monk mode with everything that the business is and making it better in every single way. I will be traveling, obviously, from Dubai. It's not that I'm going to be in Dubai all year. Moving the company over, I will be based here. So whereas before I was based in the UK, just in my parents' house, now I have sold my car. I've got a place in Dubai, in the marina, and then if I want to travel, I will travel from here. So if I want to come back to the UK because I've got client photo shoots or meeting up with clients, like events, for example, that we've got planned for in August, family holiday with my mum and dad, all sorts of little things. Plus, then if I want to travel, again on business, so I've got Bali booked next month, stuff like that. So effectively, Dubai is my home, but we will still travel. There's always travel implemented within this, because at the end of the day, we're online because we want freedom as well. And that's a big thing for me. So that's how I've got where I am. Now, I would say the biggest lessons to take from this are: put your back up against a wall. If you know in the back of your mind, you've got that little entrepreneurial mind about you that can just go absolutely monk on something if you have to do it. So for me, if I have a vision, which I have a lot of, in a non-arrogant way, I know that every vision will become reality. Not because I know how to, but because I know I'll do everything I want to get there. Okay, so for example, if it's building a physique, a lot of people say they want a physique. Why have you not got a physique? You clearly didn't want it that much. If you did, you'd have invested with a very top coach, because they'd have just got you there. You know, there's no excuses. For me, I knew I wanted a physique. I invested in a coach. I invested in my education. I knew I wanted to build the best physique business on the planet, which we are going to be en route to, and deliver the best results, which we are already doing at an unbelievable rate. So how did I get there when I didn't know how to? I invested in mentors. I gave it everything I could. If I had £1, I'd have given £1. If I had 10 grand, I'd give 10 grand. It's as simple as that. If you know that you want to be somewhere, you've got to get your back up against the wall, throw yourself in at the deep end, and do whatever it takes. A lot of people say, oh, I'm going to do whatever it takes. Are you doing whatever it takes? And that's my advice. If you want to be in this business and you want to take your physique to the next level, they're both very similar. Business and physique are the same thing. You have to do whatever it takes. There's never a perfect time. There's never an easy time, but you can always do whatever it takes. So figure out what whatever it takes is and do it. And that'd be the biggest lesson I'd take away from this. Also, don't compare yourself to others' journey. Don't look at where I am today, where others are in the industry. If you're on your chapter 1 and you want to become a PT and then an online coach, there's a stepping stone process. And you know, when you hit chapter 10, which you always dreamt of, there's going to become a chapter 20 that you now dream of. So always be, you know, people say, who's your biggest influence, Tom? My biggest influence was me. I visualized myself when I was 18 years old doing this exact thing right now. Never look and think, I want their life. I want their life. Visualize you where you know you want to be, not visualize you being someone else. That's not going to get you anywhere. That's going to make you very dissatisfied. So write down your values, write down your purpose, write down your roadmap. Where do you want to be, physique or business? And just do whatever it takes to do that next step. And if you're always progressing, you will be happy. It doesn't matter about hitting chapters, you know, and hitting these end goals that you think of, because, you know, these, I'll tell you very straight, they do nothing for you. Nothing. What keeps your head in a good place is knowing that you're moving forwards. Physique and business. If you're progressing and you're going from chapter 20 to 21, or 1 to 2, or 100 to 101, that feels better than hitting 100 and stopping. So just work on your next step. If you want to get to chapter 100, you won't know how to get there, but go from chapter 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, then 3 to 4. Everything will piece itself out. If you want something and you do actually whatever it takes, you'll get there. So guys, I hope that's given you a little bit of an insight into my life, a lot to digest, a little bit of blabbing on, but it's all worth putting out there, because I think there's a lot of value you can take from this in terms of understanding that I've not just fallen where I am. I'm actually where I wanted to be, if not a little bit further. But now guess what? I'm now at chapter 1 again, aiming for my new chapters that I'm aiming for. But I'm setting my new chapters based on where I want to be, not where someone else is. So take that information, digest it, and put your own spin on it. Hope you took a lot of value. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.